On the official PlayStation channel on YouTube, a 37-minute video has just been published in which Mark Cerny, chief architect of PlayStation 5 and PlayStation 5 Pro, explains how they built the PlayStation 5 Pro, what are the 3 pillars they based on to make this new version of the console. And also how one of these improvements they implemented in the PS5 Pro is causing performance issues in some games. It turns out that one of the 3 technologies on which the PlayStation 5 Pro improvement over PlayStation 5 is based is causing problems, or rather, it is taking time to give good results. In today's video, I will try to explain things in the simplest and most humble way possible so that we can all understand what this man is talking about who spent 37 minutes talking. I'm not going to make things so long. What is the real problem with PlayStation 5 Pro right now? And where is the future of PlayStation consoles going? That is, well, the PlayStation 6. Welcome to a new video here on Big Data News. The improvement of PlayStation 5 Pro compared to PlayStation 5 is based on 3 main pillars. The first of its pillars is the GPU. PlayStation 5 Pro brings a larger GPU, a graphic processing unit than PlayStation 5. The second pillar is ray tracing. PlayStation 5 Pro brings better ray tracing processing. And the third pillar is the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, or PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, a technology that allows the PlayStation 5 Pro to take lower quality images and rescale them through the use of artificial intelligence. In this feature is where we are going to stop, because apparently it is at this point where a problem is occurring, which is what has made us see games that on PlayStation 5 Pro run worse than on PlayStation 5 Standard, as is the case of Silent Hill 2. Remake a game that clearly shows us what the problems and difficulties that the PSSR is going through when improving the resolution or the quality of image in the games. See how the image on the right, which is on the PlayStation 5 Pro. The quality of what we are seeing is much worse when it should be totally the opposite. But why does this happen? Why is the image quality on PlayStation 5 Pro worse than on PlayStation 5 Standard in this game? Or in other games where we have also seen this phenomenon? Well, due to a problem related to the machine learning of the own, but as I said at the beginning of this video, so that everyone understands what is happening and what Mark Cerny explained, we are going to go in parts. If I now draw this, and I ask you what I just drew you, probably you know it very well and tell me that's a house. It's horribly drawn, but it's a house. Even if it doesn't have a window, even if it doesn't have 3 dimensions, it's a house. If I ask you what I'm drawing now, no matter how much it's quite badly drawn, without shadows or volumes, let alone you know that what I just drew is a cup or a jug, but you know what I'm drawing and you know it. Not because I'm putting it in the image, but because your brain is completing all the missing information there. And I can draw that horrible thing that I drew that looks like a house, and your brain immediately projects a house, understands that it is a house, and even understands how to draw a house 10,000 times better. That's because you learned what a house is. And with the simplest description of what a house is, you can draw, understand, see, and even then conceive a much better house. Well, the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution works more or less the same way, with a low quality image, with a pixelated image, with low definition through machine learning, which we are now going to explain what it is. The PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution can make that image end up being something much more defined, with better shape, with volumes, with shadows, with a lot of things that were not in the original model or that were not clearly seen. This is what the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution does, or what any image scaling technology does through artificial intelligence. Take an image and, using an algorithm that interprets that image, enlarge it and enhance its quality. The advantage of this is that within the console, within the system, games are not being run with gigantic images, but games with much less resolution. And that extra resolution is not in the game processing, but is added afterwards. Remember that I said I was going to explain this in the simplest and humblest way possible, so all the mega technicians on the internet refrain from commenting if I'm not using the correct terminology. What's going on here? Well, it happens that just like you had to learn throughout your life what a house was after seeing 900 different houses. This artificial intelligence, this process based on artificial intelligence called PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, needs to do the same through machine learning. Machine learning, or automatic learning, is a branch of artificial intelligence that allows machines to learn and improve from experience without being explicitly programmed for each specific task. Instead of receiving detailed instructions, these algorithms, these artificial intelligences, learn using data to identify patterns and make decisions with minimal human intervention. That is, the PS5 Pro has been equipped with an artificial intelligence-based technology to rescale images that needs to be trained. And that training takes time. You've probably heard more than once the concept of training an AI or training an artificial intelligence. Well, it takes time. And here comes the question. Well, if it takes time, why didn't they do it before launching the PlayStation 5 Pro? Why didn't they train that blessed artificial intelligence, that algorithm or whatever the hell it is? Why didn't they train it before selling us the console? Well, for two reasons. First, as Mark Cerny explains, they needed to release PlayStation 5 Pro as a kind of intergenerational leap before PlayStation 6. Because it seems that this artificial intelligence, the upscaling through PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution, is a technology they have been developing for many years and will be a fundamental part of the future of PlayStation. And secondly, as I was explaining, this technology, this upscaling process that learns on its own, needs developers to keep feeding it inputs, that is, giving it information through these improved versions for PlayStation 5 Pro. To put it very simply and tell it in the simplest way possible, many games that use the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution to improve their resolution have to come out so that this technology understands how to do it well. At some point in this 37-minute talk by Mark Cerny, which I can assure you is quite unbearable, like the video, please like the video. At some point in all this talk, this man talks about a learning example that occurred when the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution algorithm had to face the simple situation of upscaling a completely blue sky. Mark comments that at that time, the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution had never upscaled anything that was completely solid, of a totally even blue color, and that this artificial intelligence-based process began to deliver errors because it had never done that before. And that they were able to correct those errors thanks to someone developing some game or something within PlayStation 5 using this technology that had a completely blue and homogeneous sky. From that moment on, as Mark comments, this error that if the technology has to rescale a solid color or a completely blue or light blue sky, well, that error did not occur again because the algorithm of this AI learned that it was a completely light blue sky. And there was no need to add anything to it because it seems that it added errors and things like that. So they are launching the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution now with PlayStation 5 Pro for these two reasons. One, it's going to be a cornerstone and a fundamental part of PlayStation 6. And second, it needs training with studios that launch their enhanced versions for PlayStation 5 Pro. It needs to feed on information to do its job better. Does the PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution ruin the game for you? No, it doesn't ruin it for you. Does it work properly? No, it doesn't work as it should either. Is it important? Yes, it's important for the future of PlayStation. Right now, it's not only important for PlayStation's future, but I don't know the full implications. It's important for the future of gaming, the general upscaling, and we have already seen how other companies like Nvidia, like AMD, and like so many other tech companies, they are also developing, well, or have previously developed, their own upscaling technologies or improvements in resolution or performance in images. And the future of gaming is full of these things. Rather, it's going to be full of these things, generic of these things. Just as at some point we had to get used to understanding what ray tracing was. Especially the console gamers, because in PC gaming, they talk about ray tracing. We had to get used to seeing it a long time ago. To identify, to understand what ray tracing was, we are going to have to start getting used to talking, seeing, understanding what upscaling is. And above all, what these processes based on artificial intelligence algorithms are for upscaling images or adding frames. Mark Cerny explained it in this presentation. PlayStation 6 is going to use PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution. They at Sony have been developing this technology so as not to have to use third-party technologies. They developed their own way of processing, upscaling, and increasing the resolution in their games through artificial intelligence. They have to train this technology, and that's why they launched PlayStation 5 Pro with this technology as it is. And that's why the errors that are occurring are happening. And of course, the problem is more than evident. Why did they launch this like this without warning people beforehand? Mark Cerny mentions that during his work on the PlayStation 4 Pro, they experimented with features that would later shape the PlayStation 5. Now he says they are doing the same thing. And in fact, Mark Cerny recognizes PlayStation 5 Pro as an intergenerational leap. That is, a half generation. Maybe it would have been good if they had told people this before marketing the console. A console that we already know all the controversies it brought because of the price at which it was launched. For certain features it has, like not including a base to put it upright, nor also. That sounded bad. Nor does it bring a reader. Things that I've seen for a couple of years. I mean, if we saw it from the past to the future, it seems totally ridiculous. And so many other things. Well, this is one more thing to add. They are trying something new. And they need time. It's a bit annoying, to be kind. This guy is talking repeatedly about the future. The future will be much better with the PlayStation 6 and beyond. Some may say they haven't even bought the PlayStation 5 Pro yet. I bought it today, not in the future. I just bought it. I want it today. I want it today, not next year or in the distant future. It's annoying that he's talking so much about the future rather than the present. He portrays it as brilliant, despite already having purchased it. The $700 console or $800 is what I think is really wrong here. Surely the comment box is now filling up with your opinions. I'd love to read it since I think I already know most of it. Where they are going. A question that, in addition to explaining what Mark Cerny just explained in the simplest way I could, the idea is also to internalize these concepts to you and even to me, so that we can start speaking the same language among all of us. And in the future, when news related to PlayStation Spectral Super Resolution AI, machine learning comes out. And all of this helps us become more immersed in the topic. If you like the video, give it a like. And if you want to know my opinions about the PlayStation 5 Pro, they remain the same. And you can find them in this video. Now, if you want to see a video about games and things you could be playing right now on your PlayStation 5 or on your 5 Pro, you see this other video. And of course, I'm going to thank you for subscribing to the channel. Because here we talk about games. Bye.